So this past weekend was insane. It was an action-packed weekend. It's been a week since we had the whole everything happen in the wrestling world. We had Great American Bash, AEW All In, Saturday night's main event, and then Evolution. I'm gonna just pretty much talk about it all. I'm not gonna go on a crazy 30-minute, 50-minute video spiel like I would normally do, but I do want to talk about this though. And that was the talking point out of Saturday night's main event: Seth Rollins and his knee injury. Who freaking knows? And good God, this injury, man, is insane. I'm not editing that out. This knee injury is insanely weird. We don't know if it's really an injury, if it's not an injury, because it's just kind of all over the place. So this is what has been talked about at Saturday Night's Minute at length. This is one of the things that was coming out, according to multiple people. The plan was to do an injury angle with Seth Rollins on Saturday Night's Main Event, have Rollins leave, and then he would shockingly return to SummerSlam in the Gunther CM Punk match and cash the briefcase in and win the title, with the idea that he and Paul Heyman outsmarted everyone. Backstage, everyone was told and reacted like Rollins was hurt, and that the LA Knight match was cut short. The ones who knew were very small in number. Everyone was under the impression that it was real. Then there's reports saying that it is real. There's Seth Rollins saying that there's swelling. This is from Wrestle Talk. Look at how, first and foremost,
there's that flying senton, springboard senton.
and then right afterwards, like, you can, and it's just like, oh boy. And we don't know. We don't know if this is real, if it's not real, if it's so stupid. And if it is just like, a cover up for a cash in, then this is brilliant as hell. But I wouldn't want Seth to cash in on the World Heavyweight title. We don't need to continue Seth Rollins versus CM Punk whatsoever. It just gets so tiring. So tiring. It's gotten so tiring. We need to separate those two. By any means. Let CM Punk win the world title. Let him have his own separate rivalry on Monday Night Raw. Let him do his own thing. Have Seth cash in on the undisputed title. Have Seth cash in on the WWE Championship. I think Seth as WWE Champion compared to World Heavyweight Champion is incredibly more enticing than Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion. I think there's a bunch of different storyline implications that you can add. There's a bunch of different twists that you can do, and he's confused with anybody and everybody with that title. And CM Punk will have a different idea too. It's like, you screwed me out of the WWE title so you can have your reign as well, thinking that me winning the World Heavyweight Championship is so valuable when you cost me that title at Night of Champions. Punk will have his own say. You can have him feud with Cody. You can still have him feud with Roman. Roman still has gripe to the Undisputed Championship. So there's a lot more within him winning the WWE Championship than him winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Him and Cody would be an awesome rivalry. Him and Cena reliving their rivalry from 2015 would be awesome. Him and Orton. Him and Drew. Him and Logan Paul. There's a lot. There's a lot that you can tie in with it. And Paul Heyman going back and forth the Raw and SmackDown would be super freaking awesome. Hell, you could do Jey Uso. Him and Jey Uso for the undisputed title. Him and Gunther. Well, not him and Gunther. Maybe him and LA Knight for the undisputed title. There's a lot of different ways that you can go with the undisputed championship than the World Heavyweight Championship. That is just my thought. But let's go ahead and talk about all these different shows. And I want to give props, first and foremost, to this match. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship, in my opinion, was the best match on the weekend by far. These two women put on an incredibly awesome, surreal one-on-one match for the Women's World Championship. There was no shenanigans. It was a straight one-on-one fight. A one-on-one fight. These two just beat each other to insanity. Incredible moments, especially with an end of the match sequence when you had the accidental dropkick that Io hit on Jessica Carr, and then the two went out into the arena, fought in the arena. Io then hitting that crossbody, a counter of the avalanche riptide into a Spanish fly, and then Naomi cashing in the Money in the Bank out of nowhere after her match with Jay Cargill, which was also a really fun match that was short but was super fun and super freaking crazy. I mean, this girl Naomi took a beating. Well, Jay took a beating, and then Naomi took a top rope jaded off of the top rope, threw a table face first, which caused her to get a little bandaged up and stuff. But I need to just credit these two for the incredible chemistry that they have, the incredible work that they put in, and just incredible shout out to all of the women who had their moments at Evolution. This was just awesome. This was the second best match of the night by far. Becky, Bayley, Lyra putting on an incredible triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I enjoyed the hell out of this match a lot. That ending sequence, so beautiful, with Lyra having Bayley rolled up and then Becky with a backslide to retain the title, like in the most sneaky, super smooth way that we could ever ask for. That was awesome. The weakest match was easily the Evolution Battle Royal. I didn't think that this was great, but there was great showings throughout that Battle Royal, especially from Last Legend, Jada Parker, and also 100% well deserving to the win, Stephanie Vaquer, and she 100% deserved to win that. Of course, her going to Clash in Paris for a chance at a women's championship. We don't know who's going to be the women's champion heading into Clash in Paris, either the women's champion or the women's world champion. Stephanie Vaquer has said that she's going to face the women's world champion, but who knows who that's going to be when you go into that event and go into that match. But Stephanie Vaquer hopefully will be the women's champion on that night, on Sunday the 31st. I am intrigued. I am excited to see what happens and what goes on with it. I want to give my flowers to Trish Stratus. 25 years of Trish, and you know, she is still amazing. Awesome, always seeing her compete in the ring. I've been watching her for the longest, past almost through the entire 25 years since I was a kid, and appreciating her now and all her work that she's done. Amazing work, Trish, and her match with Tiffany Stratton was really fun and really nice. They had great chemistry. Tiffany's on a great reign as women's champion now that she's away from Nia Jackson. Stay away from Nia heading into SummerSlam. These 8 women did an amazing job, especially Cesaro and Sol Ruca. These two, please keep Alexa and Charlotte together, because we need these two as a tag team for as long as possible. They got great chemistry as a tag team, and they need to continue to just team for as long as possible. We don't need them to split up super early. There are reports saying that they are due for a match at SummerSlam. We don't need that. There's not a lot of time to break them up, and you can't break them up now in the middle of a hot streak. Everybody's loving Charlotte right now. I've always loved Charlotte, always appreciated Charlotte, and her and Alexa Bliss having this tag team right now has been super awesome. And I also want to give my flowers to JC Jane and Jordan Grace. This was a good little NXT Women's Championship match that we had. JC Jane's actually having a nice run as NXT Women's Champion. I did not expect that. But also the heel turn, Blake Monroe. Very clever, very well done. Looking like it was an accident, but it wasn't. And it was intentionally well done. I really appreciated that heel turn. All in all, awesome. Awesome show. props to all of the women. Where's Kiana James, by the way? Can we get a Kiana James sighting, please? For the love of all God. Where is Kiana James? Jeez. She's been like more AFK than anyone on Call of Duty. Good God almighty. We had a Candice LeRae sighting before we had a freaking Kiana James sighting. What is going on here? Yeah, that was Evolution. All in Texas was just madness. If I have to say one thing though, Adam Cole. Oh man. Just really hope that Adam Cole is okay. And I hope that it's not the end of his career. He's still super young. And he hasn't really lived the full potential of what he can hit. So I really hope that Adam Cole doesn't have his career ended due to the unfortunate injury concerns that he's had. Apparently concussion problems again, which sucks because concussions are super just tough to prepare for. And think about I hope Adam Cole is okay. Hope that he doesn't retire. Hope he comes back strong, and hope that he comes back and wins another championship. But I do want to say congrats to Dustin winning the TNT Championship. First singles title in AEW. Cool. What I believe was the match of the night of this one, easily, Mox versus Hangman for the AEW World Championship. This was violent and sickening. Can't believe I was able to actually watch this whole stream. And then seeing the ending was super cool. There was all of course the interferences, of course this was like Bloodline Rules but AEW style. God, I am just waking up, so please bear with me. It's gonna be, I did not expect a yawn and a sneeze. While I sneeze, yawn, there's probably a bird coming up, who knows. This was the match of the night for AEW. I believe that Io and Rhea was just a lot better overall the entire weekend. But this was a fucking insane match. Forks, glass. What the hell? Freaking chain, and then table, and then bed of nails, and interferences galore, especially with Darby Allin returning, Bryan Danielson returning, the former EVPs taking out Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland helping Hangman Page win the AEW Championship. That was super nice. I've had criticism of AEW, but I can't lie. AEW's been on a heater, and this was just fucking fun. And I'm glad to see the AEW World Championship, because this is one of the most beautiful world titles in wrestling. And seeing it back out in the open after it was in a fucking briefcase, thank the Lord. Gotta give a shout out to Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné putting on an insanely fun match for the women on the AEW side. This was awesome. Awesome. That Avalanche Storm Zero was insane. I mean, Storm Zero is just a pile driver, but that was still freaking fun. And you even saw Toni Storm bust out, I don't know, I forget what she called it, but it was back in WWE that she used it. Bust out that move, and that was surprising to me in the middle of the match. This was super fun. I wasn't able to really stay up for most of it, to be honest, because I was just going back and forth. This match didn't deserve to be like this long, though. For God's sake, this match was way too long. This didn't need to, like, the one criticism I'll say for AEW All In is that it didn't need to go past 6 hours. Some matches could have been cut down. This was one of them. This could have been like a good 10 minute match. Maybe 9-8 minutes. But the Adam Copeland return was cool. And Christian probably returning as a babyface would be pretty nice. The Casino Gauntlet matches, obviously MJF winning was freaking nice. And Athena winning hers, I actually don't mind it whatsoever. Her and Toni Storm possibly competing for an AEW Women's Championship match would be super freaking cool. The EVPs and Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay I've heard that this is one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. Jesus Christ, can we calm down, please? We've seen better. But good lord. The weakest of the Okada Omega with all the interferences, but that is just fine. This was still technically in ring, still freaking insane that these two can still go the way that they go, especially Kenny Omega with all of the injuries and health problems that he's had over the years, and still going out there and having a freaking match of a lifetime. Good for Kenny. Good for Kenny, but at the same time, we're expecting a rematch at some point. And then also, you gotta talk about the Trios title match. Ops versus Death Riders. Yeah, it was there. The Ops winning was kind of surprising. I thought the Death Riders were actually going to win this. But this was an incredibly fun show. All in Texas did deliver to a superb level. Then we got to talk about the Great American Bash, the first of the many shows that happened over the weekend. Props to this match, dude. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints for the North American Championship. This was the match of the night, or the match of the day. Good God, these two put on the most insane Falls Count Anywhere match. They brawled all over Atlanta in that arena with that insane Eagles Edge off of the stage, throwing Ricky Saints off the stage through those tables. Insane way to end it. Jasper Troy getting involved. These two just beating the hell out of each other was freaking awesome. Also, props to Obafemi and Yoshiki Inamura putting on a great NXT Championship match. Two big boys just going at it was awesome. And now adding in Josh Briggs into the NXT Championship picture should be awesome. It should be nice. The feud is going along pretty well on NXT, even though I don't even watch NXT like I used to, especially with how my time and overnights go back and forth. I'm not able to really catch up with AEW as much as I can. But yes, this was super freaking nice. This was super fun. This was a great NXT title match. Then you also gotta give props to the NXT North American Championship match. Izzy Dame, Sol Ruka having a great opener that I kind of didn't go really into, because I was still waking up WWE, for God's sakes, and I was also watching AEW All In at the same time. So, and then I was surprised that this was the main event of the entire show. Blake Monroe did look really nice though, from what I heard. And then also Jasper Troy and Javon Evans putting on a nice little match. Javon Evans winning was surprising to me. I thought that Jasper Troy was actually going to walk out with a win. No, they actually gave it to Javon Evans, which was interesting. I didn't think so, but if I had to say the best show of the weekend, I thought it was Evolution, because this was just clean wrestling all throughout. Super clean wrestling all throughout the entirety of the night, besides one match. All In was amazing. It was great. I think it just went on way too long. AEW needs to learn pacing and cut down on a lot of minutes in their matches. That is my one gripe. They need to cut down on the timing of their matches, because it is exhausting. 6 hours is insane. This lasted until 9 o'clock. From 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, while freaking Saturday night's main event was on with Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship during Saturday night's main event. Jesus Christ, I was still kind of watching. I'm like, what in the absolute hell? This show's still going on? This one I was going back and forth, and I was like, yo, what in the hell, man? Jeez. Man, this was still nuts. It was bonkers. It's bonkers how AEW puts on shows like this. Cut down on the timing of your shows. You can put on a great little 3-hour, 4-hour show with such good pacing. Gotta learn pacing, AEW. That is it. Find the best pace that you can do, and you'll be just fine. Great American Bash was nice. Saturday night's main event was easily the weakest of the bunch. But if you're going to talk about the entirety of the weekend, can't go on and not talk about Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns returning on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, that was incredible. Because, good lord, Roman returning, and then he'll be doing all the Raws heading into SummerSlam is going to be really nice. I mean, good grief. This was one of the fan footages that we got. The pop for Roman. You can hear it. So I was watching Raw, and I was finishing watching Raw. I was like, holy hell, Roman got a pop of a lifetime. And I was like, oh my god. Like, the music, you can't even hear the music. You can't even hear his music. Then once he gets in the ring, insane. And you're about to head into SummerSlam with these matches. There's going to be more. Obviously, there's going to be more. I could talk about it right now, but I'm not. But the only thing I can say is, holy hell, was that return insane. Insane. I could not even bear. Like, whew. That was one of the most loud pops we've had in perhaps maybe all of this year. And we could have, it couldn't have gone any better. So this was just a week in review from the last few days. There's also The Undertaker going to NXT to confront Trick Williams. You have Slammiversary this Sunday with the return of AJ Styles to TNA for the first time since, what, I believe 2013, 2014. That is about to be awesome. Yeah, we're on the road to SummerSlam. SummerSlam is only just a few weeks away, and I will be doing my uploaded predictions and reviews as I get myself prepared for a nice little vacation. And maybe I could be heading myself over to San Diego in November for could be heading myself to San Diego for WWE Survivor Series. Who knows? Maybe. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. As always, though, I will see you all into the next video.